Hello everyone, welcome back to Premier League Unfiltered. I hope you're all doing well. The Premier League season is over, but the actual drama has kicked into an absolute overdrive in the last few days. I mean, things are changing so fast, it's so hard to keep up. We have to kick off with the heartbreak from Saturday night. A massive shout out to Mikel Arteta and Arsenal for a historic domestic run, but their ultimate dream of a double is over. They pushed it all the way to the wire in Budapest, but just ran out of luck against PSG. But the biggest news of the weekend is Arne Slot and Liverpool have parted ways, and the club has already agreed terms with Bournemouth's manager Andoni Iraola to take over. Slot won the Premier League title in his debut season, but his second year was an absolute disaster. They finished fifth with just 60 points, the lowest tally in a decade, and a massive 25 points behind the champions Arsenal. And the hierarchy have decided it wasn't enough. They want a team that plays with a front foot, aggressive, and the man they've chosen to bring that heavy metal football back at Anfield is Andoni Iraola. I think it's a very interesting appointment, an extremely smart move from Liverpool, and if you look at the underlying numbers, it totally makes sense. Under Iraola, Bournemouth became one of the most terrifying teams to play against out of possession. They constantly ranked right at the top of the Premier League for passes per defensive action, so basically his teams don't let you breathe. They suffocate you high up the pitch, which is exactly what Liverpool lacked under Slot. And Areola doesn't care about having 70% possession. He persists on vertical progression, and Bournemouth were lethal at creating direct attacks, winning the ball back and getting a shot off inside the opposition box in under 15 seconds. So I think that's why Areola will bring back that high intensity football back at Anfield next season. Anyways, it's an incredibly brave appointment, but tactically he fits Liverpool perfectly. Let's see how Liverpool go about things in the next season. Moving on to Saturday night in Budapest, Arsenal fell short in the Champions League final, losing 4-3 on penalties to PSG after a grueling 1-1 draw. The match actually started like a dream. Just 5 minutes in, and Havertz found space on the left and absolutely smashed it home to give the Gunners the lead. From there, Arsenal just dropped into their solid defensive shape, tried to absorb the pressure and suffocate the game. But Luis Enrique's PSG side is an absolute machine. They didn't panic, they adjusted beautifully and choked Arsenal out of the game by keeping an astonishing 72% possession. That's the highest ever recorded in a Champions League final. And then Dembele converted a penalty to level it up, and it went to shootout, the first final to do so in 10 years. Crucial misses from Eze and Gabriel, but anyways, a devastating way to miss out on the double for Arsenal. Moving ahead, let's look at the breaking transfer news across the league. De Zerbi Spurs had a terrible season finishing 17th, but the board is backing him massively to fix the dressing room culture, and Andy Robertson has reportedly reached verbal agreement to sign for Spurs on a free transfer, and Senesi from Bournemouth is also reportedly a done deal and he will be playing for Spurs next season. I think that's an excellent transfer. Senesi is a player I would have loved to have at United. Anyways, let's finally turn our attention to the red side of Manchester. I'm actually pretty relaxed with the way United are going about their things with their transfers, and I genuinely feel like we have a foundation for a really decent transfer window. The communication behind the scenes feels focused, and the word is we might actually lock in a major signing before the World Cup even kicks off, which is massive news because it lets the squad adapt early and without the usual summer long saga. Of course, I think the signing will be Edison from Atlanta. He is likely going to be one of the 2 or 3 midfielders we desperately need to bring in this window because the club clearly has a very specific strategy for rebuilding the midfield. I think the tier 1 will be the marquee targets like Elliot Anderson, Sandro Tonali, and Chouameni. One of these names has to be the marquee signings of our summer. They are the profiles meant to permanently step into the deep role and finally replace Casemiro. And then we'll have tier 2, a proven Premier League quality player. Club is looking at solid, established Premier League talent. Someone like Matthias Fernandes is heavily on the radar alongside Bournemouth's Alex Scott, and of course Brighton's Carlos Baleba. Now with Scott, I think rumor has it he might actually prefer a move to Liverpool now that his old boss Iraola is heading to Anfield. And then we have tier 3, the tactical midfielder. I think this is where Edison sits. And honestly, while we're looking at tier 3 options, I wouldn't mind United testing the waters for Adam Wharton. Absolutely outstanding display in the Conference League finals. He ran the show, showed maturity beyond his years, and would be a phenomenal piece of business for a squad depth. But here's the catch, we have to get this Edison deal over the line quickly so we can completely focus on the tier 1 marquee signing. And now that Arsenal season is also over, Arteta is reportedly ready to pivot his focus directly towards Fernandes and Tonali to bolster the squad. on. On top of that, we already know City are aggressively advancing their talks for Anderson to try and lock him down early. And we also have Villa's Morgan Rogers, who has emerged as United's absolute first choice target for the left wing. He's fresh off a European trophy with Villa, but they're reportedly prepared to sell him before the World Cup to fix their own financial situation. Villa want a massive fee, somewhere between 100 to 115 million, and Arsenal are also stepping up as a serious contenders for him as well. But for me personally, I think Rogers is too expensive, and AC Milan's Rafael Leao just dropped the statement confirming he is leaving Italy. Milan missed out on the Champions League, meaning Leao could be available at a cut price of 40 to 43 million. I think we should go for him if we need to strengthen our attack. Anyways, the board cannot afford to sit back just because third place is secured. The targets are clear, the tires are set, and the opportunity is there. We just need to go out and execute the plan. So with that, we come to an end to this episode. Make sure to like, share and subscribe. I'll speak to you all soon. Take care everyone. Bye bye.